Hello and welcome to Hope Ready. I'm your host, Dr. Ellen Awad. During this time of pandemic, it's really on all of us to make sure that we are making good choices for our health and well-being, as well as choices for the greater good, so that we can remain on campus all semester long. Today, we are going to talk about what happens if somebody doesn't make a good choice. And with me today is Dr. Richard Frost, who's the Vice President of Student Development and Dean of Students. Good morning.
Good morning.
So can you just talk to us about what happens in terms of behavioral expectations this semester?
Thanks, Ellen, and welcome back, students. It's going to be really great to have you back, and I'm looking forward for you to be here with me and the rest of the Hope community. We've really tried to frame behavioral expectations around a living commitment. And a living commitment is something we think about every day for ourselves as well as for all of the community of Hope. And so what we've tried to frame is a living commitment that we live into and not just be passive in. And so we've kind of talked about those things, and other people have identified them: social distancing, masks, face coverings, things like that. But what happens if you choose not to do that? That's the question that I've been asked to talk about today. First and foremost, we'd hope that you would realize that this is not part of the community expectation yourself, and that you would take it upon yourself to say, oh, I forgot my face covering, I need to run back and get it, or ask somebody for another one. If you don't, and someone asks you to put one on, please do so. And please do so in the spirit in which it's intended, to keep you safe and to keep me safe. If you are not going to do it, then there is a reporting form on the COVID website, which you can get to, where someone can say, Richard was not wearing a face covering today, and this is not something that we accept as part of the living commitment. What happens to that is similar to what the judicial system would look like. The judicial system would take that report, would follow up with the individual if they choose to be followed up with to get any other information, and then Richard would have a conversation with the judicial person to kind of review the situation and make a determination of whether they're responsible or not responsible. The same thing is going to be true for groups. If we come across a group or activity that's off campus or on campus where there are more than 10 people in attendance and it's not outside, that we may have that same COVID report form issued. In that case, what would happen is that the report form would go to the judicial system, a review would take place, and then there would be a hearing involving students, faculty, and staff to review that situation. What's important to note is in this situation is that we are also going to be receiving reports from the Holland Police Department. The Holland Police Department is one of our partners, as most of you know, in trying to keep the community of Holland and Hope safe. In this situation, if we have off-campus events where there's large gatherings, where people are not socially distancing or are doing things that are appropriate, there will be information shared with the college as well as or citations, and we'll follow up on those citations. What's important to know is that we're really trying to say is we hope that every student kind of leans into the living commitments and does things the right way the first time. If we choose not to, then there's going to be consequences and there's responsibilities. We are all accountable, me included, to these living commitments. And so with that in mind, it's going to be a great fall. We're going to be in person, and we're going to work really hard to do that.
It seems like all of us are, like, none of us have done pandemic before, so all of us are learning. And if you see somebody who's not distanced the 6 feet or not wearing a mask, the first thing to do would really be to just say, hey, 6 feet, or hey, mask up, or just give a little reminder first, right before jumping to the concern form.
Mm-hmm. I think so. I mean, I think we're all about relationships, and Hope is based in relationships. So let's lean with grace, and let's look at grace and say, okay, I'm going to extend Richard a little grace. Maybe he got up late and he's running to class and he forgot one. Give him one. You know, don't automatically assume the worst about our fellow students or staff or faculty. And so part of it is that grace, as you kind of identify. But I think for me, it is something we're learning. It's something that we may have done more of this at home, depending upon where you are. You may have had personal experiences with this in your own family. So all of us come at this at a little different place.
Yep.
It's also important to realize that this is just not around campus, but this is in the residence halls, it's in the classrooms, it's wherever we are, we really need to be understanding that this is this kind of shared commitment of the community, that where we have this covenant of responsibility with one another. And so for me, you're absolutely right. There's grace, but if once it's done, if the person or persons don't choose to kind of step into that with you, then we have a way in which we're going to talk to them and we're going to try to hold them more responsible, helping them to understand why this is so important for all of us.
Right. We really all need to step in and step up this semester to be responsible, to think about our own safety, to put the safety of others before our own, so that we can remain on campus all semester. Let's all be hope ready this semester and make good choices. And until next time, thanks for tuning in. Thanks,
Thanks,
Dean
Ellen.
Frost.